women actually want a man to be more masculine than them. But how could a man be more masculine than you if you bring in all the masculine energies?
The man might be good looking, the man might be buff, the man might be rich. He still can't do it. So the actual thing that you need to overcome most times to work on your ability to face rejection and be okay with it. Welcome to the podcast with Karimah Clinton.
Women are working and they're working all day and they're a little more aggressive than the woman that existed long ago.
Well, they have to exert more aggression in some jobs. I mean,
right.
They'll get to enjoy themselves as much as they would like. So.
Yeah. Well, some women enjoy their work, right? They do enjoy their work, but to make decisions and to get things done and be effective and that kind of thing, kind of like I'm your own boss all day long, even though you have a boss. With reflecting on that, whether you like it or not, you kind of muster up a part of you that when it comes to attraction with a man, it may clash. Whether it be you're single or you have a relationship or you're married, the dynamic when you finish work or when you're about to go on a date.
Just not in the mood for romance or sexual.
Or maybe you are in the mood. Maybe you are in the mood, but you're not even aware of maybe your relationship not progressing as you would like it to progress. Maybe your partner not making advances to take the relationship to the next level and you're like, want to know why? Or maybe physical things not going on in the relationship and you want to know why.
Is the woman fault for that?
No, I'm not saying it's the woman's fault. My perspective is that it has a lot to do with masculine and feminine energy. And because we, in a modern world, women working, women not being able to just embrace that feminine energy. And feminine energy is defined as like gentle, empathetic, soft-spoken.
I think a feminist would disagree with those things. I think that's very traditional.
Well, a feminist would.
So you're talking from a classic definition of femininity. That is kind of stuff that traditional religions might talk about, right? But I don't think modern feminists would like the Barbie movie, would I say stuff like a woman could be anything she wants to be.
Yeah, women could be anything that they want to be. But when it comes to, just like in the Barbie movie, when it came to Ken, Barbie had to pipe it down because every night couldn't be girls' night. She had to relax. She had to let him, make him feel important, let him make the decisions. She had to be like, Ken, this is your house, or this is our house, not like this is my house, Ken. It's like when feminism get too much. Feminism is important because women need to be inspired and women need, women have.
I thought when I was watching the movie, I thought it was just like a play on like they're just dolls and she don't understand that and stuff. But but it probably have a double meaning. Like it could be like some people could interpret it as they're just dolls and stuff, but it probably was just like a poke at some natural things that happen in like modern life. Because of the two persons having jobs in different fields, and I think most times women nowadays have more hectic job because women typically are better educated and have a better job than men in modern life, right? So she might be bearing more responsibility. She might be having to work longer hours, and which inevitable when you're transitioning from your work environment to your home environment, there's not always be like a quick, smooth transition to stay roles home, and sometimes you might bring some of that baggage and stress from your work. And that is the masculine energy that you talking about.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is I had no idea of that. Like, I had no idea that...
But imagine if you were still working as an engineer, and I wouldn't have such a hectic job as you have, because I would have a lower job. You would have a lot more work stress than me.
Yeah.
And that might make you angry to an extent.
Well, I wouldn't say angry.
Well, subconsciously,
Well, if you deal with
negative-
idiots and work all day, and then you're making decisions.
I coming home to me and I more happy about my work life and stuff, and I don't have as much baggage. That might make you a little subconsciously annoyed at me. Just at to some level that I don't have to face the challenge and why you have to face all this, and then you have to come home. And then apart from when a woman come home now to her home life, many times in traditional expectations of feminine rules and responsibilities, plenty of women think that they have the additional responsibility at home as well. So they carry more responsibility in work, because women typically the last like 10, 20 years, academically speaking, winning over men and getting better career opportunities, and the home responsibility now, so like both sides they're being more responsibility, and that could be like something new to the dynamic between men and women that having a negative effect to the like decline in birth rate and the decline in home life and the rise in divorce rates.
I didn't know this was a thing or this was a problem until I realized that, like when I was dealing with clients and messaging, and even when I edited, like, and you come and I had to do like a home thing or, you know, a kid thing or, you know, a family thing, I would probably be a little more aggressive. Not like angry or anything like that, but just a little more like...
Right, by little until like that now.
Okay, well, wait. A little more aggressive. No, you don't like it because it would start an argument when I a little aggressive and you want to know, you just telling me something and I snappy then, right? And the reason for that is what I realized. The reason for that is because I just dare coming up with things to say.
Oh, so you're trying to amend that now?
Yeah.
I was now learning to like that.
No, well, what I do is schedule it to a particular point in the day. So when I wake up in the morning, I won't just watch client messages and respond to them because I'm waking up with you, right? I'm not going to work per se. So I'm not getting to be like how if in a relationship all day you're away from your spouse, we like together all day, you know.
Right, because we work together.
Yeah, but what we would do is we spend the morning together. So like all the, you know, family stuff, getting breakfast and that kind of thing. I don't watch client messages until I apart from you. So you'll see I'll come to the phone and I respond to clients and check emails and stuff like that. But if I do that, as soon as we still together and we are awake, I get in a kind of zone that is not conducive to a proper family and relationship.
Right.
And I would say that is more of my masculine energy because they are making decisions, dropping the femininity, being more assertive, getting stuff done. So in that way, and not being like, oh, okay, like, you know, like loving and sensitive and dropping my voice, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Encouraging, maybe?
Yeah, and not being like that because I kind of like, I just in work mode.
Right, do you think a solution for that is for men to switch to a more feminine energy? So balance it?
No, I don't think so. Women who looking for men or looking for attraction and partners and also like, you know, out on the dating scene and that kind of thing, they actually want a man to be you know, more masculine than them. But how could a man be more masculine than you if you bring in all the masculine energy and you're not even aware of it? You understand? So like, it's like I bring in masculine energy and then I wondering what happened to you? What do you figure out with you? You know, like why you not doing this and doing that and saying this and saying that?
I think that has caused a lot of breakups because it's have too much clashing of masculine. Because amongst men and men is like good friends and stuff, men might learn like a hierarchical order in which one man might be the subconscious, unspoken leader that his say. You know what I mean? Men typically, like men who are close friends, like a group of men, typically do have plenty like arguments and stuff with each other because they kind of learn to exist in their own little pecking order hierarchy structure. But you think like in a modern relationship, as it's so different from traditional rules and responsibilities, traditional religious, not even religious, like traditional cultural expectations of femininity and masculinity. You think that has caused, like, contribute to the increase in divorce rate and stuff?
I do think there's a big contribution to breakdown in relationships and things breaking. Yeah. Not just marriages, it's not just like relationships. Like, people would date for 3 months. Even people not even dating for 3 months.
There's hookup culture.
Yeah, no, but people not even building that attraction because women have a lot of masculine energy because they're working and they're doing everything on their own. They have their own car, their own house, their own everything. And there's their own boss and work. They're in high positions. It's not something funny. But they're doing a lot of stuff. Like me, I have to take charge, right? Because if I do it, who will do it? It's my clients, it's my work. I have to get things going. So what I think is it is something real prominent in modern culture. But what I think is important to put out there is that, yes, it is a problem.
You can't be your own man.
No, you could, but you need to keep in mind that when it comes to attraction and a relationship, you need to switch. You need to make a switch.
If you want that life also,
yeah,
you have to adapt to be able to.
You can't just sit there.
You can't go by default. You can't go by the default. You're normal, how you feel. You have to understand that there's something deeper. From a primitive level, a primal level of what human beings naturally feel.
Yeah.
That you need to be able to adjust, make a conscious effort to adjust and switch between the two, which might take a little more effort, a little more struggle to like do something. Everything like that, you need to make an active effort and exert free will and not just go by deterministic. Default setting. It could be hard and people could resist it, but it's probably worth it. It's always worth it to exert some free will and not go by natural order of how things is unfold.
Yeah, like people would just...
Because the natural order now we're seeing how things are unfolding is crisis in dating and marriage and birth rates and unhappiness level on the rise with regards to that. So while people have the whole world at their hands in a free, pluralistic society, as compared to like traditional Orthodox Christian or Hindu or a Sharia law Muslim country where you have less things that you could engage in the modern society, whilst you have more stuff more at your choices that you could make. You actually have more ways to mess it up based on our natural feelings as human beings that subconsciously deep within us to be attracted to certain things and unattracted to other things that cause fights and stuff. In that kind of thing we describe in our Western society, a crisis in dating and mating, I think men are more okay with that than women. Men have Pornhub and men really don't need a connection and stuff. Well, men have OnlyFans for connection and stuff to, but women typically will be fully engaged and stimulated and satisfied with the easy ways that a man could just get that part of his urges taken care of.
Yeah.
Women have like a deeper sense.
Yeah, and any more women stay away from having intimate relationships with men is the more masculine energy they acquire. So they're now single or broken up or something like that, and they just now alone, more alone than ever. And when you're alone, typically you just have to harness that masculine energy. So you kind of, if you're not aware of it and you're not conscious of it and you're not flipping when you are in a bar or in a restaurant or gonna meet somebody or on a dating app or on a text message, a lot of people, before they even meet, they're texting each other.
Tinder message.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, inbox and DMs or whatever.
Right.
They have to friggin' figure out how to bring that feminine energy. And the thing about it
but there is these pretty typical women that career-oriented, this typical successfully
Typical
career.
woman is career-oriented, even if she.
Yeah, well,
is
this is not
family.
for, which women have that lockdown under control. The women where that is their sole job.
What?
Like a woman who not in a thriving career, on her own, like an engineer or a executive, admin executive or something, but a woman who like OnlyFans girl.
Well, that's the only woman that have it.
Paid
down.
masseuse, prostitute.
Because they
gold digger.
understand what men want.
So they have men at their disposal of them.
Yeah, and the woman who working and have to, even if you are a housewife, you have so much friggin' things to do. If you have 2 children, if you have 3 children, you're like, you are the boss now, and you have to get everybody in control. You have to get food, you have to do this, you have to do, and it's a lot of stuff. It does bring out your masculine energy. So that that is, to me, was a big wake-up call. And it's like, it's how quick you could flip it now. And you could use little commands to flip it. So like, if it's just to think about it in your mind, or maybe like I watched some videos from some people some researchers, and then that was like, use meditation, use yoga, use certain movements that
And
you
you
could
do that? And you do
Yeah.
those stuff?
Just to like, you call on your flexibility and which is linked to your feminine
Kundalini.
energy. It could be anything, but it's more like breathing and meditation and like your hips and this midsection here is like is just make
There's
you
different forms like yoga and stuff.
yeah.
Men could do something too. It's called their masculine energy.
Well, I don't know what men could do for the masculine energy, but that is also a point we're talking about, is that while women need to pipe down their masculine energy to be more feminine around men,
Men need to watch some
need
teeth
to
it up
increase their masculine
by
energy.
watching Andrew Tate.
Because then now,
Yeah, give it that.
well, I don't know about Andrew Tate, but yeah, you
Something
could-
like that.
Something like that,
But then it might go the other way and start to slap a bitch around and
right. So you don't want to do. You tell me what you think that could increase
it's a-
that masculine energy.
masculine energy have a fine line, kind of invisible line between masculine energy and complete outright misogyny. And it's easy to cross that line, but true masculine energy might not be misogyny, it might be appreciation for women. Because typically I think misogyny might come from a weak place, and I think Andrew Tate typically is a goofball in the things that he is teaching, and I don't think he naturally is. One of the things like the agenda he taken and the role he playing, he might play up his goofballness and his idea of women, but I doubt a man who really successful with women and life would hate women to that extent. Like
yeah, but for me,
incense.
things that I listen to, he don't hate women, is when you go to his university.
Right.
Is again the stuff that he would have done in the past with business and stuff now, and that is when it's coming out.
How can that trigger? Funny.
Do it when he fall on us.
Right.
That is where you get the stuff about misogyny and thing now. But on the surface, on his YouTube talks and stuff, you not really get him that he trying to actually give men more responsibility. So he's saying men don't be such wimps.
Right.
And you had to make yourself successful, and you had to aspire to those things, and women will just come after that. And after that, you can pick whatever woman you want. And that is, I think that
I mean, gold diggers will come after when they have enough money. Yeah, that's a kind of natural way to, like, there's the typically women flocking to a guy of greater wealth and thing is the natural order of things.
right, but that's what we talk about in the last podcast.
But there's
where-
assuming that the man with the great wealth also have like a ability to choose and differentiate somebody that he actually likes and somebody that may be playing games with him.
Yeah, and we talk about how women like confidence in men.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a lot of money and you don't have confidence, you're gonna just open up to yourself to a woman who choosing you because of the financial stability, but they're looking for that romance and that lust and that romantic lifestyle with somebody now. And what again is like a financial lifestyle where
Right, I understand.
You know?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong.
No,
women can
nothing
do
wrong with that. No,
you know?
I don't find anything wrong with women doing that. I just feel a little saddened when men are taken advantage of. Like, I know good men who just take advantage of, but that and don't know any better and stuff like that. And they could always be taken along for the ride, or eventually realize that they're being played, and that could break their man for life and get them real disenchanted with women. That is the only thing I sad about. But while I sad about that, I also find happy for any woman that make a lifestyle like that.
Right. So what do you think men can do to increase our masculine energy? We was talking about rejection and approaches.
I think it's just right, but I sound different. I don't think the rejection approach is just that might contribute to building the ability to be a chooser rather than the person that is chosen. But being able to go up to have this old saying in the pickup community 20 years ago from a guy who's not around. He used to say that if as a man you can walk up to a strange woman and strike up a conversation and not feel a sense of dread within yourself and not be intimidated, there's work to be done in you. And I think that is a real true thing from years ago now. If you really can't do that as a man and you're petrified, then there's some internal work that needs to be done, and you need to see what is the driving force. And sometimes there isn't an actual thing that you could pinpoint, because the man might be good looking, the man might be buff, the man might be rich. He still can't do it. So the actual thing that you need to overcome most times, back in the day, there was to actually encourage you not to work on yourself, but to work on yourself as in improving your physical or your money, your bank account, but actually just to work on your ability to face rejection and be okay with it and get comfortable being embarrassed and stuff like that. And I think that is the greatest thing for me personally, facing some embarrassment and stuff, that
so that's what you would have done.
I think that's the best thing a man could do. Be okay with being embarrassed and just grow out of that fear of rejection and stuff, because fear of rejection is real bad for men, for salespeople. It's like the worst thing that could inhibit your life, and being able to get comfortable with that is the most important thing for a man. But then it have the new stuff that they teach might be to increase your testosterone, to go to the gym. But I don't know if that is really, for sure you shouldn't have too much of a low testosterone, and you shouldn't never have been to the gym or do some kind of body weight exercise or something. But I don't think that is the best solution. I think the best solution would be for a man just to grow in his natural character and charisma.
The exercise I think will help in terms of
but it could not help to if you're
too much
focus on that.
Is the one thing
that's not going to naturally solve your personality quirks and your character defects that preventing you from striking up a conversation with a random woman in a store.
Right.
Or in the.
It's more than just a physical. You had to work on you.
Yeah.
You
had to be able to do we used to call it day game approaches, because it's kind of easy to do club approaches, especially if somebody using alcohol as a crutch to build as a social lubricant to get them. It's really just making a clown out of yourself. If you're relying on you being drunk and the girl being drunk, that is not a real thing that's happening there now. So it's really striking up conversations with people that you see around in the real world, and being able to build off of that, and just having back in the days, try to meet 5 people, try to meet 10 people, try to meet 20, try to meet 50 people, or if not meet, just say hi and just have a 2 sentence with them. Those are the kind of thing that I really find so well with the guys that I was working with long time, that build themselves more than anything in life.
Right. Real life actual approaches.
Mm-hmm. It's called Sergeant. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that this whole topic is kind of of debate against a fixed mindset and a growth
Blue pill
mindset.
philosophy. Blue pill. I've heavily red pill.
Was red pill.
Like thinking that you could, through self-development and try making an active effort to change your lifestyle, make changes to it. And blue pill is like thinking you could just go along for the ride and naturally and do the actions as society tell you to do. Blue pill will be like the natural way, get the IKEA furniture, get the job, get the car. That's the podcast for now. See you in the next episode.